Hello and welcome to ThinkTech Hawaii's Connecting Hawaii Business, formerly known as Business in Hawaii. My name is Kathleen Lee with Kathleen Lee Consulting, and I'm very excited to debut our show's new name, again, Connecting Hawaii Business. And it's appropriate that our guest on the show today is someone who is an expert in digital marketing. We have a strategies owner, Alison Koyanagi. Hey, Alison.
Hi, Kathleen.
Okay, so thank you for being on the show this afternoon. Again, the show is live streamed, so those who are watching, you're more than welcome to send us questions throughout this conversation. So, Alison, tell us and our viewers a bit more about your background, and then we'll launch into how you came up with a strategy marketing.
Sure. So I was born and raised here in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I'm still here, which is great, but I've moved to places like Japan and Oregon in the meantime, and then moved back here because that's where my heart is. So I'm happy to be back, and I'll probably stay in Hawaii forever. So just to let everyone know. But for now, I've actually had a background in finance. And then 6 years I was working as an accountant, and then decided to open up my own digital marketing agency.
Very awesome. So tell us about your business. And I understand that you also went through a name change when you first started up till now. So let's go over that.
Sure. So when I first started this business in 2018, I had the idea of utilizing my prior name, which was Inspire Up Consulting, to describe other services I was thinking of offering in the future, such as bookkeeping, since I had experience in that area. Instead, this business turned into a full-service digital marketing agency, so I decided to change the name to a strategy marketing to reflect that. It's also easier to know what my company does at a glance now.
Oh, awesome. So what does your company do?
We provide social media marketing, SEO, and website design, and also online advertising as well.
Okay. And let's go over what exactly digital marketing is. So, Alison, what is digital marketing?
That's a great question, Kathleen. Digital marketing actually encompasses all the marketing efforts that are performed online. So businesses usually use online marketing and digital marketing to connect with current and prospective customers using social media, online advertising, and SEO. And that's where all of our services came from, is just all of that actually just encompasses digital marketing in itself, and anything you can do online to market your business, that's what we handle.
Okay, and why is it important? Why is digital marketing important or crucial, especially during this pandemic?
It's so important, especially with all the businesses just having to change their operations and closing, laying off employees. They've had to pivot their entire business model and then having to get all of their business online as soon as possible. If they're certain industries such as retail or even restaurants, for example, they had to get things online more than usual just to get the word out there that they're actually still in business, they're open, they're being safe, that kind of thing. And many more businesses have begun to use social media right now as well, and utilize that tool to get the word out quickly.
So with your particular business, what are the industries or the sectors that you focus on?
We focus on retail, e-commerce, home services, real estate, finance, and accounting.
Okay. And why would you, or actually, let me take that 2 steps back. So what would you say to businesses who think or believe that, they don't need a digital marketing expert such as yourself, that they can just kind of do their own posts? So what would you tell them as to why, your businesses and your services are needed?
So a lot of business owners actually feel that way as well. They're thinking like, oh, I can actually use somebody in-house to do my digital marketing for me, or I could do it myself. And so they end up trying to do it themselves in the beginning so that they could save on costs. And then I guess they end up kind of burning out on the content. Maybe they can't think of anything anymore, and then they just stop completely, or they have somebody in-house do it, and then the person that they've hired in-house to do the social media ends up also doing a ton of other tasks within the organization, and social media just gets pushed in the back burner because all these other tasks just get pushed up to priority one, that kind of thing. And so having a digital marketing agency outside of your organization handling social media for you and actually all your digital marketing, for example, they're focusing on that digital marketing for you. So for us, we actually help our clients directly with only social media. And so we're not going and helping you with accounting or doing all these other things too. It's just more like we're focusing on one specific area within your organization. So it'll actually be handled much better and with a strategy behind it as well.
A strategy. I see what you did. A
strategy, yeah.
Okay, so let's go over what you said, right? Social media. A lot of people will kind of divert to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Is it just that, or are there more avenues beyond those that were mentioned?
Yep, there's a lot of platforms that you could be on right now. I mean, there's even, I guess, funny platforms like TikTok, which is kind of controversial at the time. But also, I mean, like there's Pinterest that you could be on as well. It really depends on what industry that yours particular business is on. And if your target audience is on that platform, that's where you want to be.
Okay, I like that. I like how you talk about strategy and target audience. So when we were going over the show, we wanted to give tips to individuals out there. What tips do you have for a better, or even like a starting out digital marketing strategy for businesses?
Sure. So like I mentioned, it's another important point to not only be active on social media, which is totally important right now because people are on social media all the time since they're stuck at home with nothing else to do. And so they're on social media. So that's where you should be, first of all, but also showing up where your target audience is online. And first of all, it's investing in a great website for your business as well, because that's kind of like having a business card online for you for people to look at. So having that beautiful website design will actually attract more people to come to your business, whether or not you're open a more brick and mortar business, that kind of thing. So invest in a beautiful website first and direct everyone there, and get their email addresses while they're on the site too. There's a lot of channels that you can actually get it from, like the blog. Okay, subscribe to my blog, or give something for free as well. So give out a free ebook or maybe a free webinar that they can sign up for. And then they have to input their email address, get their email address, and then also do email marketing after that so that you keep in constant contact with them as well. And that has to do with digital marketing altogether. It's not just social media, but you have to be on all different avenues to reach your clients and potential clients. And also make sure your website is visible on search engines. So that's where SEO comes in, the search engine optimization for your website, and making sure that when people are searching for you on the search engine, that your website actually shows up. And then making sure that your content can be shared. So if you're on social media, or if you're even on your blog website, then make sure your content can be shared and will be shared. So when you're writing it, say, hey, is this something that is shareable? Like, is this something that people will send to their friends, or tag my friends in, or go online and send it through their stories or something along those lines. So if you say yes, it checks all those boxes, then you should share that content. And if not, then don't share it at all. Just go back and rethink it, rewrite it in your head and say, okay, is this shareable now? And then go and send it out to the world. And also adjusting your content for the pandemic right now, and making sure it's relevant and flexible to the changing situation. So any news that comes out that has to do with your business, make sure it's on social media right away. Hey, we have to close for 2 weeks, that sort of thing. Make sure it's on social media so your customers know, and they're not going to your doors and knocking on it and saying, hey, why aren't you open? Or they're sending you tons of DMs, like saying, where are you? You know, like oh my gosh. And then you've just lost a customer for life. So just making sure that your message is out there and being relevant to the situation.
Okay, let's go back to you mentioning SEO, because I feel like, a number of people have seen the term, but they don't really know how it works. So can you go a bit over that?
Yeah, so it's putting a lot of different parts of your website onto search engines so that it ends up showing up, like keywords, alt tags, that sort of thing. And also, like, a lot of my clients have specific questions about SEO and how it works and the backlinks and stuff like that. So usually I have this like really nice long email that I send them, like explaining every single thing about SEO, because it is pretty complicated to to kind of like explain in real life. So it's just more like if they read it one by one, like this is what I'm doing, and this is like the backlinks that we're putting on, this is where it's going to be shared, this is the keywords that we're putting onto your website as well, then yeah, that pretty much encompasses it, and make sure that you're showing up. And so we check on Google all the time, make sure we have Google Analytics available for our clients and saying like, oh, this is how your people are arriving to your website, through social, through direct, through organic search, that kind of thing.
Okay. And you talked earlier, you mentioned the pandemic and how people should be adjusting their tactics and strategies. So from your observation, with your clients and even with your own business, how has the pandemic affected your business and business in Hawaii in general?
So it's definitely affected, I think, every single business in Hawaii, no matter if it's good or if it's bad. Sometimes some businesses have been hit hard, while others have actually just been skyrocketing, succeeding. So, and I have clients on both ends of the spectrum. So some have just skyrocketed their profits like completely, and then others have just kind of closed up and they're like, oh no, I don't know how I'm going to get to the next month. And so those, it's a really tough situation for everyone, I think, right now. And it's affected my clients mostly. With my business, I think I've mostly seen it just kind of, people are needing marketing for sure, because their business is either like kind of failing and they're like, okay, I need to invest in marketing, which is a really smart thing to do. And so they're starting to see more of their business come back to life because they're on digital marketing and they're doing online advertising, that sort of thing with our company. And so it's nice to be able to help my clients and get through this and say like, there's somebody here for you in the background, helping you out throughout this pandemic. And hopefully we can all just get through this together. It's such a cliche thing to say now, but like, that's how it is. Like, we are kind of all working together to try and get through this and make sure that we can make our businesses better for the future.
What about some of the businesses who feel like, maybe they're not tech savvy enough to to even apply digital marketing to advertising their businesses? So what would you say to those particular businesses?
If they're not tech savvy enough, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. What if they feel like, I don't know if digital marketing is right for my business, since I don't even go on Facebook or Instagram? Like what would you say to those businesses? Because I know there are a lot of mom and pop shops, that have gained success in their businesses through word of mouth, and with a lot of places shutting down, a lot of these particular businesses are getting affected. So like, how would you say, wait, no, let me help you out?
Right. Yeah. A lot of my clients actually come to me and they're saying that they either don't have a Facebook account or they just don't like being on social media at all. And I understand. And I mean, from a business standpoint, as a business owner standpoint, nobody really has time to go on social media and kind of post or do things for their business. And some of them don't even care. So if they're probably out there and they're probably the ones that kind of type into the URL, like exactly what the website is, and then they go on it, instead of going to the social media first to see what their updates are, to see if they're actually still open, that sort of thing. So I've had a lot of clients on broad spectrum like that. And what I would tell them usually is saying, this is not something that you should see from your point of view, but it's from your client's point of view, and getting those customers, because your customers are on social media. And whether or not you're on social media, your customers are going to be looking at social media and seeing what you're doing with your business, and seeing that they're going to go and visit your business, buy from you, buy your services, buy your products. And so their only way that they're going to know quickly is through online marketing. So it's best to get online as soon as possible. And if they're just a brick and mortar business, mom and pop shop that hasn't had any type of digital marketing at all, this is the best time to get on digital marketing, because we're all just shut in to our houses. And I'm telling you, everyone is on social media. And even if you're particularly not, maybe if you're a business owner watching this and you're like, but no, I don't even have the app on my phone, But if you aren't, it doesn't matter, because your customers are.
That's a really good point. And I want to delve more into, what your services are and what you can offer, especially with everything going on. So we're going to go on break right now, but when we come back, we'll talk more about digital marketing and how it can help businesses during the pandemic. Stay tuned.
Aloha, I'm Krista Stadler, the host of Nonprofits Mean Business 2 on ThinkTech Hawaii. Nonprofits Mean Business 2 investigates the operational challenges and costs related to managing nonprofit organizations, while encouraging our viewers to find a nonprofit organization that you're passionate about in our community. We are streamed live on ThinkTech Hawaii bi-weekly at 12 p.m. on Thursdays. Thank you so much for watching our show. We look forward to seeing you then. Mahalo.
Welcome back to ThinkTech Hawaii's Connecting Hawaii Business. Again, my name is Kathleen Lee, your host for this afternoon. And today we are talking to Alison Koyanagi, owner of A Strategy Marketing. So when we left off, we were talking about how the pandemic has impacted businesses in Hawaii. Alison, what challenges have you run into when it comes to running your business, especially during this time? Because when you started it in 2018 and August 2020, like those two time references look completely different. So what are the challenges that you have run into?
So I guess the challenges that have we've encountered here in strategy marketing is I think it's just being super flexible with everything that's going on. So a lot of the content had to become relevant towards the situation. So we've had to manipulate a lot of the content that we've had before. So anything that was like previously scheduled, so before March, that sort of thing, we had to go and just rewrite and just do the whole thing over again, scratch everything, scratch all the plans forever, that sort of thing. And every single month, everything changes. And this month it's been twice, but it's one of those things where it's like, as soon as something comes out, a huge announcement, a new order, that sort of thing, then all the content needs to be scratched for the next month. And then we're going to just redo everything. So it's one of those things where it's just being super flexible with what's going on and helping my clients as much as possible.
Okay, so let's go over some of the specific businesses that you've seen, people are asking for, or what you're offering that have been coming in handy during this time.
I mean, with everything that we offer to our clients, it's everything that's come in handy. So anything that people need and want for their business, like website design, for example, most people do not have a great website if they haven't been through a pandemic before, for example. So we've had a lot of clients come to us just showing us websites that were, I think, made in like the 1980s, but I'm not sure. And so they were showing me some of those. I was like, wow. And then they said, well, like nobody looks at it, like this is just something we threw up.
I wonder why. I do.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you came to us, because then we can definitely help you with a beautiful website design that's kind of up to date in the 2020 and making sure that people come to it using SEO and social media marketing, driving everyone to your website so that you can collect those email addresses, just making sure that you're getting everything you need and encompassing your business into digital marketing itself. So.
Awesome. And I know you had mentioned when we were talking about your business that not only are you, so your focus is Hawaii, but you're also servicing other places, right?
Right.
National and international. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So just recently we've started going totally international as well as being national. So
that's so awesome.
Yeah, so it's great. So we have a few clients in other countries like Japan, and also, I guess, a little background, I didn't say this too, but yeah, I used to live in Japan as well. So I can like speak it sort of, not really. I'm not saying that I'm like fluent, even though I am, like my background's Japanese. But
You know enough for business. So
sort of, yeah.
That's what we're going with.
But yeah, just being able to kind of like converse with them in their own culture, that sort of thing, it really helps in that respect. Just knowing how to present yourself within a different culture, I think is really helpful. So learning about different cultures and being able to interact with people internationally and getting our name out there as well has really helped. And digital marketing, it encompasses everything. So it could just be worldwide, for example. So we're looking to expand to different parts of the world, not just the Asian countries.
I like that. I like that you think big. And I know that, because we met when you were first starting out your business, and through it, I've seen like most of the advertising, and I wouldn't really call it advertising. It's more of you talking about, your brand, which is positivity. So on that note, could you talk about tips for burnout that people may be experiencing, especially when it comes to this pandemic?
Right. And I talk to a lot of business owners because I have a lot of business owner friends. And even you, Kathleen, you're my friend. So, but we've talked about this before. And this is something that I think everyone struggled with, especially in March when this whole pandemic hit. As a business owner, you're like having to pivot everything and you're changing everything, laying off people that you love. And so it's just preventing that burnout and stress as a business owner is super important. And so I've read, I would say hundreds of articles online asking myself, how can I prevent this stress? Because personally, I was very stressed out and getting burnt out as well. And it's just having to be flexible in your mind, but also staying mentally sane at the same time. And I'm talking about the industries right now for sure that have gotten hit hard, like restaurants, retail, and they're still getting hit hard with this new closure as well. And so it's been a tough time, and there's a lot of stress involved with running a business during the pandemic. So including even asking difficult questions like is whether to close forever or take out huge loans to save your business. And so one thing I love to do personally is hiking, and all the hikes have been closed as well. So this is something that I was looking up online too. I was just like, how do I get out in nature, or like, how do I do something to just prevent everything? So besides exercising every single day, yes, like check that box for myself anyway. Eating healthy, doing all those cliche things online that they always say, take all the supplements, do all this other thing, meditate, all those things I've tried. And I'm saying like, it doesn't work after a while if you're doing that consistently, and it kind of gets a little bit boring, and you're just like, okay, so I'm up to that point where it's like, yes, I prevented all that stress that you say in those articles. But these are the 3 things that I found personally that have worked, and that may or may not have been on those articles, but it's worked for me. So every morning I wake up and I'm grateful for 5 things. And so I just list 5 things in my head, or I write it down. Writing it down is the best because you can refer to it later. So just write down 5 things that you're grateful for. Even it just could be like, hey, I woke up this morning. Like that could be one of them, because
That's a big deal.
Some people didn't wake up,
Some people struggle to get up in the morning these days. So that's huge.
So, hey, I woke up at 6, just like I wanted to, that sort of thing. I got my kids out of the door, that sort of thing. I don't know. It's if you have kids. And then spending time with positive people that calm you down. So just letting go of all that negativity. If you have negative people in your life, saying goodbye to them, even if it's just for the pandemic or it's forever. Just saying like, bye-bye, I don't need you in my life right now. I just want positive people. So hang out with all those positive people or talk to them on Zoom. And the ones that calm you down, those are the people that you want to hang out with. And then also changing negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And this one's like the hardest one, I think, because
absolutely.
If you're in a negative space and you're kind of thinking, oh my gosh, my day is just going to get worse and worse. Like I stubbed my toe and now I broke my arm or something. And now like I just spilt my whole like meal on the floor, it just gets worse and worse and worse. But if you positively like turn that around and say like, oh, I've it's fine because I actually have extra that I was going to save for leftovers anyway. So I could just leave that, and my dog can eat it. I don't know, something like that. But don't do that. But just changing it all into positive thinking and saying like the world's not over if your meal falls on the floor. The world's not over if you break your arm because you have another one that you can work with. It's like just turning everything into positive thoughts, and you'll heal, you'll get better, and everything will be better in the world. And even myself, I'm keep on telling myself that, and I really hope so. But just keep telling yourself that it's gonna be better and everything's gonna be better soon.
I love that. I love your positivity, because I feel like, with that kind of mindset, it trickles down to how you run your business, right? And so I think it's very awesome that you are in the space that you're in, because I feel like that is definitely much needed right now. So from our conversation today, was there anything else that you would like to add that we haven't gone over, that you would like to mention to our viewers out there?
Yes. So you can reach out to me anytime on social media at A Strategy Marketing with any questions at any time, because all the messages come to me. And so just let me know if you have any questions on there. If you want to ask anything about digital marketing, I'm always there in answering them. So personally, for now, until my assistant will take over, but for now, I'm there answering all the questions. And just let me know.
Okay, and where can I find you? How can they contact you? Website and your email. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, astrategymarketing.com. And my email is allison@astrategymarketing.com.
Awesome. Well, Alison, thank you again for joining us this afternoon on ThinkTech Hawaii's Connecting Hawaii Business. See, I still need to work on that, because this is the first show where we're using that title. So I'm so honored to have you on here to debut that and to also talk about your business. For all the viewers out there, if you missed our live stream, it is available on Facebook, as well as ThinkTech Hawaii's YouTube account, and on the website, thinktechhawaii.com. Until next time, thank you again for tuning in. Have a good afternoon.